everyone. This is Coach Alexis, and I'm excited to have a successful Indiana business owner with us today. Darcy Case with Indiana Recovery Services has seen steady growth since their founding. We're excited to hear about her journey. Hi, Darcy.
Hi there.
Hey, so, Darcy, let's start with introducing yourself. Can you tell us a bit about your personal story?
Okay, my name is Darcy Case. Um, I am originally from Western New York, north of Buffalo. Born and raised there. Go Bills! Um, and we moved to Indiana in about 2005. My husband and I were both in law enforcement. I was a 911 dispatcher. He was a sheriff's deputy. He got a job with the police department here in Indiana, and that's why we moved. At the time, we had two children, 7 and 6 months. So we moved to Indiana, and about a year afterwards, we had our third child, and I got a job working for the Carmel 911 Center, and that's our story for Indiana.
Well, that's fantastic. So, tell us now about how your business came about, and at what point did you have the confidence to think you could run your own business?
My husband and I have always dabbled in businesses of some sort. When we lived in New York State, we he had a snowplow and truck equipment business. So when he wasn't working as a sheriff's deputy, he would be installing snowplows and things like that. So we had that. And then my mother and I did a little bridal business where we helped brides with invitations and decorations and things like that. So we've always had a little bit of entrepreneurial in us. What happened to us is back in 2011, Carmel decided, or the state of Indiana decided they were consolidating all of their 911 centers into a countywide dispatch. So we knew for about a year that we were going to lose our jobs. We had to reapply to Hamilton County and hopefully get hired to continue working for the 911 center. At that point, I had been in the job between the two departments for about 16 years. And I decided that I wanted to try something new. I didn't want to work nights, weekends, and holidays anymore. And I wanted to be able to be there for my children growing up. So my husband grew up in the towing industry. His father owned a towing and collision business in New York State. And we came across this business that was for sale. So Indiana Recovery was a two truck business with a couple of employees. We decided that instead of me continuing on in the 911 sector, I was going to run this business while he continued in law enforcement. Um, and that's just kind of how we got started, kind of luck of the draw.
Awesome. That's quite a story. And so you've had this great entrepreneurial background, and then you've transitioned to acquiring a business. Now, how does your business help others? How does asset recovery help other businesses?
Well, what we focus mostly is with the lending institutions. So what we do is we're essentially the repo guy. We're not real popular with a lot of people, but we are with the banks. What we do is we take and recover the collateral for them on things that they have loaned money for, such as cars, RVs, heavy equipment, boats, anything really that. And we just help them get their collateral back to help offset the deficit in loans.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's a big business to business service that you provide. So in doing that business, what has been your biggest learning as a business owner?
A lot. To learn how to navigate so many different things. You've got to have your client side. You've got to have your customer side. You're face to face with the people that are coming in and understand how to assist them because they're not going through a great time. And then you have to understand how to navigate employees and what is best for the business, what is best for your employees, how do you mix the two, um, and how do you have a good balance between work and life? Because when you own a business, it's never separate. You're always working. So those were a lot to learn. Those were a lot of things that took us several years to try to forge our path into what made us to where we're at today.
Those are quite a lot of learnings. So you've grown a lot in that time. What do you attribute your growth to?
Um, my husband and I are a good partnership. He focuses on one aspect of the business, I focus on the other. So we each have our distinctive roles in it, and we work very well together where we're able to, um, like be voice of reason. Like he'll be my voice of reason, I'll be his voice of reason, and we're able to work through instead of, sometimes as a business owner, you're quick to make a decision without thinking through the full consequences to everything, right? Good or bad. So what is the ripple effect of this decision? If we do X, Y, and Z, how is it going to affect us in the long term? So that's really big, I think, for businesses to be able to think in that aspect and really weigh your options before making decisions.
So having a voice of reason and a good partnership attributes to your growth. What have you learned are some common misconceptions about running a business?
Everybody thinks you're rich. Uh,
Mhm.
and what I think that people would be surprised at, most business owners, how much they actually work and how much of themselves they put into it. It may look different, but business owners are constantly working behind the scenes in a variety of ways, from, what can we offer our employees for bonuses, for benefits? How do we implement those? To how do we get this client? How do we elevate ourselves to be above our competition? How do we merge the two? So, like when you're a business owner, you're worrying about, we have 54 employees. I'm worrying about 54 people. I'm worrying about if I do something wrong, it's going to affect their lives. So we always strive to make sure that as a business owner, we are doing the right thing for everyone, which is really hard sometimes. And there's a lot of stress, and it's not as easy to run a business as a lot of people seem to think.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense. So, with that in mind, and you say it's not as easy as a lot of people think, as you think about the next 1 to 2 years, what would you say is your number one challenge or focus area for achieving your goals?
We would like to expand a little bit more, offer more services. Right now, we don't just do asset recovery. We have a full transport division. So we expanded into that where we now take the vehicles to auction. We also have a full locksmith division where we can cut keys for vehicles that don't have keys. So that's another service we offer. We do have 4 locations. I do feel that we want to take and expand out and expand our footprint. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out what that looks like for our company in the coming years.
Expansion sounds exciting, and it sounds like you've also already added a lot of great things. Now, when we talked about your growth in the past, you said that having a voice of reason in your husband has been really beneficial. What advice do you have for business owners trying to do things without help from others?
I would say that it's very important that you do your growth and build your business in a methodical fashion. A lot of people take and try to grow too fast, want everything all at once, and in order to have a successful business, you really have to take baby steps. You have to pick an area, focus on that, grow that, cultivate it before you move on to the next one. Because if you try to do too much at once, that's where a lot of failures occur. We have been very methodical in our growth. We didn't try to go too fast. We took little steps. We researched each part that we wanted to do and made sure that it made sense for us. Spoke to a lot of people that already have knowledge. Lean on other businesses to to help you with your knowledge, even if it's not the same industry. We have learned so much from other business owners on how to do different things. And it's always important to lean on your other business community.
Awesome. Well, Darcy, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And please tune in to Indiana Business Spotlight podcast to hear more stories of other business owners.